What's going on this wonderful Wednesday? This is your boy Capree Classic, and you're listening to the Capree Classic Show, and you're tuned in to WGODradio.net, the #1 internet radio station in the world. Yay! We got sound effects and everything. It's good to be back. I'm going to tune in late. Running behind the date. Appreciate that, DKS. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in on Facebook. You follow me at Capree Edwards. My boy Miles Dixon's in the building. Good morning, afternoon.
Wait a minute, hold on. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
I'll get it together in a minute.
I can hear you. Now, before I get started, I got an admission to make.
There I go. Go ahead.
I don't know. I said this before we came on. I don't know if I'm out of shape or if it's just hot. But I'm sweating because I had to take stairs. And I've been sweating for about 5 minutes. So I'm not sure. Am I out of shape or is it hot in here? Is it hot? Is it me?
You just
5 floors. Okay, 5 floors.
So that's 10 flights of steps. You doing good.
That's okay.
You doing good.
You making me feel better.
That's right. That's what's up.
You making me feel better. But it's good to be back. We got a dope show today. 10 things that men deal with, but they don't talk about. I feel like this is going to be a part 1 and a part 2. Because I got
it can be a whole lot. It can be 4 weeks. Sure. It can be 4 weeks.
And let's be clear, it's more than 10.
Okay, right.
It's definitely more than 10. But I was trying to keep it condensed for our show, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to do at least 2 shows on this. So real quick, I have a thought of the day or a word of the day, whichever one you want to call it. But the thought is, and first of all, let me say this real quick. When I do the word of the day, it's typically just to bring out a principle out of the Bible. Now, those that know me, you've been following me, my posts, and even when I was doing a radio show before, I am not what you consider a preacher. They try to make me a preacher. I am not a preacher, but I do love the word. And so a lot of times I do bring out Bible stories, and I talk about different topics and stories in the Bible. My assignment is never to get you to believe what's in the Bible. My goal is always to bring out a principle in the story to help you further understand. Okay. To help you understand what the message is in the story, in the Bible. So I'm not here to preach to you. Yes, I'm coming out of the Bible, but I'm not here to preach to you. I mean, I think a lot of times, a lot of people, they can't receive the word because it's shoved down their throat. And belief is always a choice. You shouldn't be forced to believe anything. Belief is always a choice. So the story that I want to bring out today is the 3 Hebrew boys. It's a very popular story in the Bible. People talk about it all the time. And these 3 Hebrew boys go by the name of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they were thrown in a fiery furnace because they refused to bow to a golden image. And they were thrown in the fire. And the king, tells the operators to turn up the fire 7 times as hot, for this particular purpose because he was mad. And so the Bible says that even the person that threw the boys in, they burnt up because the fire was so hot. Wow. So
that's some hot fire.
Oh, it was hot. It was hot. Okay. And so the Hebrew boys was walking around in the fire. The king looks at his servants. He said, wait a minute, I thought we threw 3 of them in there. And they was like, yeah, we did. He said, well, it looked like it's 4 of them walking in there. And one of them looks like the Son of God. So now it's 4 people walking in the fire. You have the 3 Hebrew boys in the fire, and God himself is walking in the fire with them. So when they realized who it was, they say, okay, bring them out. So they bring them out. They didn't smell like smoke. They weren't burnt up, nothing. So they was like, okay, well, they must be serving the true and living God. And typically when you hear that story, they talk about how, God is with you in the midst of your trouble, in the midst of your trial, whatever you're going through, God is there with you. And that is so true. But the point that I want to bring up is Nowhere in the Bible do I recall seeing what the 3 Hebrew boys was good at. I've never seen what their skill set was. I never seen what they were, if they were good at being shepherds, if they were good
tradesmen,
at building, if they were tradesmen. You know, we never knew what they were good at. We never knew what their skill set was. And I think a lot of times we try to connect our purpose to our skill set. We try to connect our purpose to what we're good at doing. If we're good at math, if we're good at technology, if we're good in sports, if we're good in building, if we're good at entrepreneurship, if we're good, whatever we're good at, we try to make that our purpose. But we don't know what these 3 were good at. And so for those of you that feel like you don't have an expertise, sometimes your purpose is your story. It's not necessarily what you're good at. Sometimes your purpose is just being able to say, I've been through a lot, but I overcame it.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes
your purpose is, I grew up in a single parent home and all of the odds was against me, and I dropped out of school, but I was still able to make something of myself. Sometimes your story is your purpose, not necessarily your skill set.
Okay.
So don't be so stuck on your purpose being attached to what you're good at, because everybody doesn't have a expertise.
True that.
But we all can be experts in how we live our life.
Yes.
Because everybody has their own road. Everybody has their own issues. Everybody has their own challenges. And that's the one thing we all have in common. We all have to overcome something at some point. Nobody has the easy road. Nobody has, what they say, born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Right.
That doesn't happen for everybody. There's only the 1%, as they say, in government, in corporate America. There's the 1%, and then there's everybody else. So be careful that you don't minimize who you are and what and the purpose that you can serve just because you don't have something tangible that people can see. As long as they see you, they see purpose. So make sure you don't minimize who you are and what your assignment is. All right? That's the word for the day. Now we get ready to get into the topic of the day. I got some people watching. Shout out to DKS again. Chelsea, Terrence Kelly, that's my new brother-in-law. Excited for him. And my sister, they just got married back in August. And they still together, thank God. Because I know she crazy. She crazy. She crazy. I'm praying for you, bro. I am. I live with her for all my life. She crazy.
He said for all your life.
Janice, what's going on, sis? Charles Green, what's going on? We appreciate everybody that's watching on my Facebook page, everybody that's listening online. Today's topic is 10 things men deal with but don't talk about. We about to jump right into this list.
Yeah, I know you, and this can't be in chronological order of importance.
No, it's not in order of importance. But, and again, it's way more than 10.
Yeah, maybe 10 times 10.
10 times 10 times 10.
Ooh, damn it! Ooh, sorry. Can't say that on the show.
All right. So for each one, I have a little written thing that kind of expound on it, and then we can go from there. 10 things men deal with but don't talk about. Number 1, our limitations. Most men view limitations as weaknesses and often ignore or steer clear of them in fear of failing to grow or expand. As a result, men and those that love to accept him loving in a comfortable and complacent space that was never intended to be his destination.
Wow. So can you give me an example of a limitation that a man might don't talk about?
So this is let's say this is a practical one.
Okay.
Any particular man can be intimidated by his limitations or his knowledge of cars.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I'm guilty of that.
You know what I'm saying? So, so if you don't know how to do certain things on the car, change your tire, change the oil, check the fluids, you know, stuff like that.
How about when you walk in the AutoZone, they be like, so is it a 2-liter, a 4-liter, or 6-liter? I'd be like, is it on the engine? Because if it's not on the engine, I don't know.
But the underlying thing to limitations is a ego thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't talk about our limitations because it gives off a sign of us being weak.
Weak, yeah.
And when you start talking weakness, you start talking ego, you start talking pride, you start, you know what I'm saying?
You get up into the BS, because when I think about it, I tell women all the time, I'm not the car dude.
Right.
I'm not the sports guy.
Right.
And if you talking smack to another guy, I'm not a great fighter. So I advise you just to shut up and let that man do it. If he called you out your name, I'm like Kevin Hart. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because you should have shut up. You know what I mean? But no, seriously. But no, ego, I can see how ego could get in the way of cars. Because my homie just taught me how to put on brakes.
Gotcha.
I was like, it's this easy?
Gotcha.
You mean it's 3 to 4 steps? Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, man. He did them for me. He showed me. So he said, next time, you going to do them. You know what I mean?
I messed up a few breaks trying to figure it out. I done flooded a bathroom trying to change a toilet.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? But see, I'm the person, I at least try it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I at least try it first. And if it don't work out, then I can call my backup and like, okay, I tried it. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely flooded a toilet. And I was only off by like 1 step.
But it was important.
But it was a very important step. It cost me some water damage.
You be like, you know what? I just got an indoor pool.
In a bathroom, though.
In the bathroom. You only can swim so far. But we got it.
You can float, but that's about it. So, yeah, limitations, we don't like to talk about them because in a way, it makes us inferior to who we think is able to do it. Yeah. And so when you're around people, you know what I'm saying, if you're around people that know cars and they know plumbing and they know, you know what I'm saying, it's like you don't really want to talk about that stuff because you don't really know it.
I think you were the person who got me, like, so dig this, Cujo, you listening? So Capree was talking about basketball, so I did not know the difference between the forward. I know the only person I knew what the purpose was a center. That's just to grab the ball. That's just to grab the ball. So, but you told me what a power forward is and in the forward, and I'm like, okay, I thought all of them move forward. You was like, no.
They all move forward.
Yeah. So, I used to be embarrassed that's why I never went to the basketball parties and the games.
Oh, got you.
Football, I know.
Got you.
Yeah, and I know all 14 positions of the football. I know all 11 positions on the football field. But when basketball, I just like, okay, you just pass the ball. Huh?
And you know what's funny? It's funny you say that because I was just having a conversation a couple of days ago, and it's wrong for me to say this and feel like this, but I feel like any guy that just don't care about sports, period, there's something wrong with him. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Like, okay, y'all know me. I think it's, you know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of gay if a guy just don't like sports at all. You know what I'm saying? I think it's weird. Like, something's wrong.
Well, gay people play sports.
They do.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's wrong for me to think that just because a guy don't like sports, it's something wrong with them. Right. That's not right.
Yeah. You
I
wrong
still
as
feel
hell.
that way.
You wrong as hell, Capree.
For sure. But it doesn't change what I think. I think, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care about sports at all. Yeah. Like, nothing, not even betting on it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to watch it to bet on it. At least make money off of it.
Right. As you get older, I'm not gonna lie. As I got older and more into business, I care less about sports.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. If you grow up all your life and you ain't do no sports, and then want to deal with sports and play, you be like, okay, he's a weirdo.
That's how I see it.
Yeah,
It might not be how it is,
No, it's
you
not.
know what I'm saying? But that's
and
how
it's wrong for you to make me think that way now, Capree.
It is. It absolutely is. All right.
I almost cussed too, my mistake. Go ahead, Capree.
Gotcha. All right, number 2. 10 things men deal with but don't talk about. Number 2 is being vulnerable.
Ooh.
Men have seemingly been reduced to emotionless beings designed to protect and provide at all costs.
Yeah.
While vulnerability is perceived as a sign of weakness, men are vulnerable in some areas in life but barely feel the ease to express or expose himself.
Well, every Tuesday, and we got to get you on. But do you work on Tuesday nights?
Not all of them.
We need to get you on a Tuesday night on the show we got called Girth, and we all are vulnerable. We all, this is the place.
Gotcha. I tuned in a couple of times.
Okay, this is the table to be vulnerable at, where we let everybody know the truth, whether it's socially, personal, or business wise.
Right.
But you're absolutely correct. A lot of people, but to cry in front of other people, especially women, it's like, you a punk. You be like, what? But anybody know me? I'm a crybaby. I watched the right damn movie. One day my girl was like, damn, this is Spider-Man. I'm like,
Spider-Man. But what's funny is I'm starting to realize the older I get, the more in touch with my emotional side.
Yeah.
I get comfortable because before, because if you think about it, we was never really in a safe space to be emotional like that. You know what I'm saying? If you're emotional, you consider the sissy a punk. Or whatever. For sure. Yeah, for sure. My baby, he fell in the kitchen one day and he just went to hollering, and we was like, "Wait, what happened?" They're like, "You just fell over." I mean, he just went down. We was like, "No,
stop."
Nope.
Right? No, they ain't going that.
We don't do that. No, I'm saying, like, he might have been hurt for real,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Or he might have wanted attention. We don't know.
No, right.
But a lot of times we're taught as boys, shut up, get up, brush it off, keep going. It's bleeding. Okay, wipe it off. You know what I'm saying? And we grow up in that, not realizing you're starting a pattern of not being able to release whatever it is in that moment. That don't have to become who you are. You know what I'm saying? We kind of think if you are emotional in a moment, that's who you are. No, that's not necessarily who you are. And a lot of times we don't even know how to tap into our emotions.
True.
It's one thing I said it to a guy at work. If somebody asks, particularly a woman, if they ask a guy, how do you feel? And he say, I don't know. He dead ass for real. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He might know what he's feeling, but he has no idea how to express it or how to interpret it or how to verbally, you know what I'm saying, get it out, because part of us been shut down for so long. Or if you do get the courage to say something, it gets thrown back at you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you feel like that? What make you think that? So you trying to say, I'm like, no, I'm not trying. I just said it.
Right. I get you right, because when that brush it off part, I didn't really cry until that mercurochrome came out. When you remember the stuff they used to put on the sword, they burned a whole lot. It was the mercurochrome. It was the red stuff they put on the sword. Yeah, it burned. Yeah, yep. I just started crying. That showed a lot of emotion when that came out.
It was the alcohol for me.
Ooh, that was like punishment. That was like a punishment. Like, I told you.
I told you not to. Yep. I told you to stop running.
Yep. They hit alcohol.
Yep. Yeah. Terrence said that's a recipe for an explosion. I'm assuming he's referring to not being able to verbally express yourself, because you know what I'm saying, and it is, and most times when guys finally get to that point, it's not gonna come out right at all. It's gonna come out like a bark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
a bark and a bite.
Like DMX.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I told you so. He said it like,
exactly.
Like, mama, brother sound like DMX.
Yep.
That's how I got the name Cool Joe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, and that's real talk, because a lot of times we want to be able to have normal conversations about how we feel and what we think and what's our perspective and stuff like that. But we've been minimized to, your biggest job is to protect me and provide for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and
feeling a whole lot of feelings. That's our job. We supposed to feel, and we supposed to hurt, and we supposed, you know what I'm saying. And we don't never send, and we don't really get to, because we're just as emotional as women are.
Yeah, yes, if not, and now
if not more,
because we be holding so much inside of us all the time. You know what I mean? It'd be crazy. So, yeah.
And then the flip side to it, the oversensitive dude, we looking at them side-eyed too.
Yeah.
Like, dog.
Did you
For real?
Did you have to cry?
Is that what you crying about?
Yeah. I mean, listen, so I mean, seriously, like, my emotions, I get overwhelmed sometimes even listening to certain music. Mm-hmm. Okay, like Naomi Rain got a song called Peace. Mm-hmm. And it gets me overwhelmed. Like, I was in here, I know this WGOD, but I'm saying I was in here like not bawling, but I was crying because I was in this place right here, and I was like, I actually done something I feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if it wasn't for God, it wouldn't have brought me to this point.
Right.
And so I felt overwhelmed, but I felt happy.
Right.
You feel me? Right. And
Yep.
then I'm gonna tell you what this holy gnat doing. This holy gnat is bugging me.
I only seen it once.
Man, it's over here.
Oh my God!
I only seen it one time.
It's a holy gnat because Jesus is with this gnat because I can't kill it for nothing. You hear me? But yeah, so I mean, it's sometimes I think when we express our happiness with tears, our manhood or we are questioned. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
people think I'm not joking about the Spider-Man. I really cried on Spider-Man. I did. So my girl did look at me like, "What's wrong?" I mean, I said, "You ain't hear what he said? With great power come great responsibility." It's number 3. Capree.
You living it? All right, real quick. Terrence said they say "man up" as if we're not being a man.
Ooh, yeah. You never heard "woman up." You never heard.
You never hear it.
Yeah.
You never hear it. You never hear it be a woman.
Yeah.
You never hear it. All right, number 3.
He trying to get the gnat like this, waving at it. You got to smack that.
Did it land?
Yeah, it landed. But he like this.
Wow. All right, here we go. 10 things that men do that don't talk about. No.
Number
10
3.
things men deal with but don't talk about. Number 3, being a man can be lonely. Most men don't even realize how lonely and isolated we live our lives. Not that we want to exist like this, but we too often get enough backlash or third degree about what we share to retreat back into our shell and choose silence.
Ah, that's true. I agree with it. Did you write this stuff out? Or
I did. So let me kind of give a back. I used to every night I would just write. I would sit in the kitchen on the side of the bed, and I would just write whatever came to my mind. I would just write. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with some. I'm good. I don't got COVID.
I know. You did that cool non-COVID cough. You did that.
Right.
Right.
I'm good. I've been dealing with some emotional feelings and thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure some stuff out. And the idea to do this particular show came up, and in the midst of me, coming up with these points, I had thoughts behind them.
Okay.
So this is where, and a lot of these is more personal, but I feel like a lot of men deal with this stuff.
I know you on point.
And they just don't necessarily have an avenue, or they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? They might be hearing this and they be like, dang,
yeah,
that is me.
Yeah.
Dang, that is me.
And I think you hit it right on the nail, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought somebody named like Dr. Rucker or something then wrote up some stuff and you did some research on it. But I told you, Capree is Jesus' best friend. It's God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, then Capree. And so at the end of the day, the reason why I asked that you come up with this, because they on point. And it's not just for black men.
No.
It's for men, period. Because normally,
Yep.
I'm stingy, so I just isolate it to black
Oh,
men.
for sure. For sure.
But black men can really relate to what you're saying.
And it's one on this list that's more particular to black men. But for the most part, this is all men stuff. One of my good friends and coworkers, Jim said, being a man, we have to wear many different hats, if you know what I mean, which is very, very true.
Yes, but if I think we wore a Jimmy hat, we wouldn't be in a lot of trouble that we got in ourselves into. I'm being honest with you.
100% facts.
Right.
That deserves an applause. For sure.
Because when children come into play, we become more vulnerable, but we have to act extra more hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when children come into play, we have to hide our emotions more so even then, because the relationship between the mother and the children becomes more stronger.
And that's also, it kind of ties in to number 3, being a man can be lonely. Mm-hmm. I don't think we realize how lonely not lonely, how isolated we make ourselves because we feel like our thoughts and our emotions don't matter.
Right. Especially in the household of a family. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's easy because when a baby is born, the bond between the mom and the baby is so strong, and it's almost like the dad gets lost in, you know what I'm saying, in what is being created emotionally.
Yes.
Between the kid, you know what I'm saying? Between the kid.
It's like an emotional vortex.
Yeah, and that's why when the kid they grow up and they get older and they go away to school, and then the mom and the dad is looking at each other like, oh, hey. So what now?
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Because
like your name Jane.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you have it where the mom and the baby are so connected, or the kids are so connected, and you find the husband finding reasons to go to work because that's the only place that he feel like he's valued.
Or doing overtime.
You know what I'm saying?
For no reason.
And he feel like that's the only place he's being valued, but he's placing his value on what he's able to produce.
Bring to the table.
When he's not really involved in something else he produced,
right?
Which is the kid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, okay, thank you. I got my baby.
See ya.
You know what I'm saying? All the bills paid. You know what I'm saying? I'll cook you dinner. Here's dinner. And then let me run off with the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you find yourself being isolated without wanting to be.
Yes, I totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? And then how many dudes can sit down and have this type of conversation with another dude?
Yeah. It ain't that many. It's not that many.
It's not.
Because we're
not wired like that.
Right. Men can't console each other like women can. You know what I mean? Like I was just telling somebody yesterday, when it comes down, like you can actually feel alone in your own home. Mm-hmm. You can actually be sleeping right next to someone and feel like you're still alone. Mm-hmm. And women think that's just a trait of theirs. It's a trait of men too. I think me and Capree both can agree to that. And to tell y'all women, like being lonely, or we feel like we sleeping with the enemy, we still feel like that too.
Yeah.
When I say sleeping with the enemy, I mean...
Okay, yeah, because I'm about to say...
Let me retract.
I'm about to say, I don't want to go as far as to say they're the enemy.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? But
emotionally.
Yeah. Detached?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, emotionally detached.
Emotionally detached for sure.
And definitely it takes another spark of something for that connection to come back together again. You need to try some more different water. You need to, instead of smart water, you need that cough-free water.
I probably need some sinus medicine. That's what I really need.
That's what happens.
Rondell Murray said only a few men can do it. I'm not really sure what part of that comment, where that comment fell in relation to the conversation.
We said not too many people, not many men can sit down and have this conversation.
Oh, got you. Absolutely.
I mean, I believe more will be able to do it. See, Cap, I'll be very honest with you. The men would need somebody like you. You feel me? And the reason why I say that is only because somebody still has to see somebody with a strong mind and a strong heart and understand the word to break themselves down.
And listen, well,
See, he can't, I'm telling the truth. That's why he can't even speak.
I've always felt the need to start a men's group. And of course, you know that because you did my logo and all of that stuff. And actually is at some point it's still coming. But I do want to wait until we're done with all of this COVID crap.
Yeah.
But I've always felt the need for men to be able to come together and have conversations that they want to have, but they don't necessarily feel like they have the opportunity to have. Or they feel comfortable in a space to share. Because a lot of times, you know, guys, even when they do feel comfortable, they're still guarded. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
They still have walls up. They still have barriers up. They still have thoughts of the last time I expressed myself, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And so they pick and choose what they want to talk about and how deep they want to go into it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys now that's going to therapy. Right. And therapy is probably not helping as much as it could because they're still not opening themselves up to have conversations, you know what I'm saying, that they should have to get the help that they really need. And I think one of the biggest reasons why men don't really open up is because they're scared of what is going to open up in them.
Yeah. Like I could definitely agree. There's only a few people that I can no. It's only a few good men that I know I feel comfortable with humbling myself and being, you being one of them, Minister Dawood Muhammad being another one, and my mentor Andrew Wallace is a man, and one young woman, Dr. Sabrina Jackson. I feel comfortable being honest with you guys because as a man, and I've been on my own. It's just like one time I posted, Cap. I said, "Where do Superman go when he's feeling dog tired? Like when he's down." And everybody said the rest stuff. Oh, pray to Jesus. You know what I mean? Look at your child. But nobody said call me. When nobody said call me, I realized like I have to be one of those people where people think everything is always okay because it's me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the bold part about that is 9 times out of 10, that's what we give off to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm guilty of being I don't know if you want to say over positive. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm over positive. I just choose to have a certain perspective about what happens in life. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
I choose to believe that everybody in the world ain't out to get me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I choose to believe that even in something bad, something good
right there.
is in it.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I choose to make those choices. I choose to be nice to people that I know are a-holes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to create a cycle of you get me, I get you.
Yeah.
Nah, you got to get me because I got you. Nah, I got to get you because you got me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, you know what I'm saying? And I don't choose to live like that. And a lot of times, as a man, it can be considered weak, and it can be considered, you know what I'm saying? You letting, you know what I'm saying? You're letting people take advantage of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's not necessarily okay. Because a real man can look you in your face and be like, yeah, you dog me, but you need my help too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. Right. Because at some point, somebody's going to look me in the face and be like, yeah, you disrespected me. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody's going to look at you and tell you ain't a disrespectful person.
I'm not.
Unless you wear your Michigan jersey.
That don't necessarily mean that I'm for everybody.
True. But when you wear your Michigan jersey, you can be disrespectful.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You be disrespectful.
DK said men can come vulnerable with hard convos and someone use that info against them. Ooh,
every time. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's good.
Yeah. Today I just told somebody I have, I was talking down on, I don't see how a man can be verbally abused, right? But then I realized I was in a verbally abused situation to where,
Wow.
you know, it was crazy. But yeah,
And-
they right. They right.
You share your heart,
Yeah.
and then it is
Thrown
thrown
up in
back
your
at
face.
you.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Like it's in the baby diaper.
yeah.
Just like it's in the baby diaper. What number 5? What's number 4 or 5?
4 is our emotional pain. It's been said that women are physically private and emotionally naked. In other words, they have no problem talking about their emotions, but feel quickly violated if someone gets too close to them physically. Men, on the other hand, are emotionally private and physically naked. They have no problem taking showers with other guys in a locker room. But when it comes to talking about their emotions, they feel that they are intruded upon. However, men feel emotional pain just as women do. Unfortunately, a lot of men aren't comfortable expressing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think when men are forced to try to talk when they're not ready to, it does more damage
It does.
than what you feel should help them. It's almost like taking medicine before something is wrong.
That's true. Or taking that piece of tape off. You know, you be trying to take tape off real slightly,
And they just want to rip it off.
Yeah, that reminds me of that. Sometimes it's just not ready.
It's not ready.
That time is not there, and people had a tendency to try to pry into it. Like, come on, man, just tell me. You know, I had talked to one of my homeboys, and when he told me he had herpes, I was like, oh, I didn't want to know that. You know, I didn't.
Right.
I was like, dog, I got herpes. Can you help me out there?
Right.
And I was like,
How?
Right. I was like, yeah, it wasn't nothing.
Just say no.
See, one of them genuine.
Just say no.
But the situation wasn't. So I'm not making light of the situation. So if he's listening, I'm not making light of the situation. However, if I would have just waited for him to come, he probably would. I mean, hold on, let me take that back.
Pause.
Pause. If I would have took my time and waited for him to come and talk to me, I think it would have been better because I know his approach would have been way different. He'd be like, man, I think I messed up. You know,
most guys, they understand their emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
They understand it. They just don't know how to talk about it.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't know how to talk about it. They can tell you they're hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can tell you what they don't like. They can tell what you said and how it made them feel to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, most guys, they're only going to talk when they're comfortable enough to
say
know that when I say this is actually what it is. Because
Makes
the
sense.
worst thing you can do is be talking to a woman and you give them A, B, and C, and then they hit you with, so what you trying to say? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Which means they about to reanalyze and break down every little thing you just
They're
said.
about the machine gun Kelly. Yeah.
He was like, no, I wasn't trying. This is it. You know what I'm saying? This is what I have. It might not be good enough, but this is what I have.
Yeah.
Now, we talk about this tomorrow. I might be able to say something a little bit different to help you understand. But for the most part, we're going to talk when we're ready, when we're comfortable, when we know it's going to be accepted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Women, they don't care because we just supposed to take it however they say it, when they say it, how they say it. We just supposed to eat it.
Yeah, and that's one thing I just told ex of mine a few weeks ago. In case y'all just tuning in, y'all checking out the Capree Classic show every Wednesday at 1 p.m. You be checking it out. Don't forget to give us a call at 313-855-5737 if you want to talk to Capree. He's right here on WGOD.
Number 5, our drive for significance.
Ooh.
Most men are production driven. Production plus result equals significance. When we are not producing what we feel we are capable of, we don't feel significant to ourselves and subconsciously make that the thought and opinion of those close to us.
Mm. You have to break that down for me. That was too intellectual.
Our drive for significance. I'm gonna read the first part again. Most men are production driven. Production plus result equal significance.
Okay.
So if we're not producing, we don't feel we're worth anything.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
We don't feel like we have any value.
Got you. Because we are taught that man's supposed to run the household and provide.
We're builders.
We're builders.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, gotcha.
We build. We grow. We multiply. You know what I'm saying?
We baby's kids.
Right. So when you're not able to produce, especially when you're not able to produce in areas you think you're good at.
Right.
When you know what I'm saying?
Or things that you bragged about.
Or yeah, you done taught yourself up in some areas and
Yeah.
I'm about to do this and I'm about to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got this idea and then that flop and then 2 months later here they come like, all right, I got this idea and then that flop and then a year later like, all right, I got this idea. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, how
Yeah.
many ideas you get? You know what I'm saying?
When you
And at a certain
complete
point we
something.
like, bruh, for
Yeah.
real?
Yeah.
Instead of saying like, okay, keep going because eventually something gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we get discouraged because when we're not able to produce, we feel like we're not valuable, and then people see us as not being valuable.
Very true. And but do they not see us as valuable because after so long we done played ourselves by not completing?
Because it's, to me, I don't necessarily see it that way because there are a lot of different variables and nuances when it comes to why things don't work out or why things don't play out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is, what is your perspective on how you view the result? You know what I'm saying? Just because it
Gotcha.
doesn't work doesn't necessarily mean it was a failure.
Right. It just means it wasn't time for it.
It wasn't time for it, or that wasn't your lane.
Ooh.
Sometimes we can be doing something that ain't even what you're supposed to be doing. You just throwing stuff up against the wall and hoping something stick.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of sometimes, you know, we're failing in areas we shouldn't be in the
Right.
first place.
Like if you got a Yugo, you shouldn't be in the fast lane on 696.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Richard Bass, what's going on, bro?
Richard Bass.
We got to get you and my sis back on. I miss y'all.
That's what's up. Richard, I'm waiting to hear from you, brother. You already know what I'm going to... Speaking of manly, don't talk about. So let's talk about Richard Bass not calling me back. No, shout out to Richard Bass. Oh, you got a caller. Florida call. Or maybe it might be the wrong number. Who knows? Caller, you on the air.
Yo.
Caller,
Yo.
you're on the air. It was the wrong number, Bill Collector. Go ahead, continue.
All right. 15 minutes. We're doing a lot better than I thought.
What's up?
Number 6.
6.
Understanding our purpose in life.
Hold on. Say number 6 one more time.
Understanding our purpose in life.
No, say number 6.
That is number 6.
No, say number 6.
Oh, number 6.
All right, I did that.
Understanding our purpose in life. The $1 million question.
Ooh.
What was I born to do?
Ooh,
Knowing there's more, but have trouble figuring it out.
that's a gut punch for most people.
Yeah.
They don't. I think a lot of people don't even want to admit what. For one, number one, most people don't even know their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't even know. I have a debate with people all the time when they be like, Jesus knew his purpose. I be like, did he?
But see, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
You believe he did?
Oh, for sure.
But why did
He
he
accomplished it.
But why have that? Why did he say, "Why thou hast forsaken me"?
No, that was showing the humanity
In him,
in him,
gotcha.
trying to understand why did I have to take this road to accomplish my purpose.
Gotcha. Okay. See, he was never explaining to me because. when
Oh,
I said-
he knew.
He knew.
He knew.
Oh, he had a good idea for sure.
He knew. Because here's the thing. A lot of people are taught that you shouldn't question God.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can't use that as it because
He showed question
Jesus questioned God a few times.
quite a few. Yeah. So you mean to tell me I only got to hit him once?
So, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Not only is it okay to question God, but you have to think there are times when God questioned us,
all the time,
and He shouldn't have to because He already knows.
No, right.
So it's not that He's questioning us because He don't know.
Right.
He's questioning us so we can see where we are.
Where we at in life. Okay.
Yep.
See, again, that this is Cap is Jesus' best friend, so Cap got a lot of inside scoop. And by him being, I think he got Jesus beeping number something.
But see, I think people confuse purpose with gifts, with talents, because it's not the same thing.
I can agree to that.
If you break down purpose is the why. Purpose is not what.
Right. Okay.
Purpose is why. So your question is you should be asking, why am I here? Mm-hmm. When you're talking purpose, you should be asking, why am I here? Why am I in this space? That determines what purpose is. Why was I born? Because everything is created for the why. Everything.
True.
Your lights were created. Your stoplights were created to stop crashes. You know what I'm saying?
Simple as that.
Everything was created for a purpose.
That's what I said.
You know what I'm saying? So when you get to a place where you're trying to connect the why with the what, you can get lost because there's a lot of people good at a lot of things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? People can be good at singing. They can be good at writing. They can be good at making music. They can be good at building skyscrapers. They can be good at computers. They can be good at sports.
Yeah.
But none of that is purposeful. Purposeful is what is your life supposed to resemble at the end of the day.
Got you. And
that's what purpose is.
And your purpose, a lot of people, but I believe a majority of us we suppose our purpose is to help each other in a sense. Mm-hmm. And move forward in a direction that's positive for us building.
Yeah.
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 It's like I tell people, I said, know your genius and learn to be masterful. So when people look up masterful, they're like, oh, I thought masterful mean master my craft. I said, no, that's no masterful is no, that's not what that mean.
Right.
What they say?
I'm pretty sure this is in response to when God questions us. Dwana Kissy, a long time listener,
Kissy.
She said he's probably like my child. Like, what the F are you doing? Facts.
Yeah. What the facts are you doing?
Terrence Kelly said the thing is when you question God, you have to be ready for the answer.
Ooh, a lot of people don't be ready for the answer.
No.
You know what I mean? Because I think again, COVID was unveiled.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and this is another story in the Bible. There's a story in the Bible about a man who was blind, and the Bible says that Jesus spits on his eyes. You know what I'm saying? He spits on his eyes, and he asked him, "Can you see?" He was like, "Yeah, I see men, but I see men as trees walking." And then the Bible said he touched him again, and then he was able to see.
Wow.
If Jesus touched him the first time and asked him, was he able to see, what make you think that Jesus didn't know?
Well, you got me.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because he's able to heal him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He touched him the first time. He said, are you able to see? He said, yeah, I see men as trees walking. Which means he was able to see more than he was the first time.
Gotcha.
But Jesus had to touch him again, and then he was able to clearly see. A lot of times, God asks us questions to see where we're comfortable.
Ooh, yeah.
Because if he would have said, oh, yeah, I can see now, you really still can't see.
Right.
Because if you were able to see, because if he was blind his entire life,
right, he was still blind.
How would he know what a man looked like and what a tree looked like?
Yeah.
So he was able to see before he was blind,
right,
because he was able to see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So if you're comfortable with just seeing men as trees,
That's what you would see.
Jesus would have left him at that point.
Right.
He's not going to push you beyond where you want to be.
So that's on point.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to push you. So if you're comfortable just seeing men as trees,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because he could have said, "Oh yeah, I'm good now. I can see now." My man was like, I mean, I can see, but
I only see these leaves.
I only see.
Leaves and bark.
So Jesus had to touch him again, and then he was fully. Oh, you know what I'm saying? He was fully. But Jesus was trying to figure out. So not only is he blind, do he have an honesty issue too?
Ooh. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
So a lot of times Jesus asks us questions so we can expose ourselves to the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times we have to be faced the truth to come out of the most uncommon times.
Oh man.
And then the kids say the darndest things.
Dude, honesty hurt.
Yeah.
Honesty hurt. And a lot of people are scared of the truth because it's hurtful.
Yeah. It can be very hurtful.
It can be very, very hurtful. Number 7, this will be the this will be the last one, and then we're
continue next week.
Number 7, societal abuse / expectations. Society has simplified men to someone who don't cry, don't have emotions. All they want is sex and to find worth in what their money can produce. Sadly, many men have taken this as their identity, living in a shallow life. You're not a real man unless you're financially successful, or you're not a good father unless you're living in the same home as your kids. And instead of being a good guy until you prove otherwise, you're immediately thought to be a bad guy until you prove to be a good one. Societal abuse and expectations.
Again, we had that on Girth yesterday.
Yeah.
We was talking about how society, especially due to social media, has placed how a man should be. Right.
Yeah. And this one is the one that can be more direct to the black man.
Yes, most definitely.
Because we're the ones that we're not being boxed in. We have been boxed in
All day.
for years.
For the financial stability.
For years.
Yeah.
Not so much. I mean, yeah, financial is a part of it, but I'll go a step further, even in the capacity of leadership.
Oh, all day.
You know what I'm saying? We have been stripped. Well, no, I don't want to say that.
Oh,
I don't want to say that.
wow.
Because that's not necessarily true. I was going to say we've been stripped of our power.
No.
That's not necessarily true. We have if the system was set up to strip us of our. I'll say that.
Yeah,
The system was set up for us to be stripped of our power.
Definitely.
A lot of the issues we have now, we're giving our power away.
Yeah, but at the same time, I had a talk with Jay McClain. She said black men need to take their power back, blah, 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 in the community, right? I said, well, Jay, you have to understand, for every time a black man stood up, he was struck down, murdered publicly. I said, when black women, saw there's not in the history of civil rights movement or us building, have a black woman been struck, killed publicly in front of mass people. You feel me? Every man that you can name that stood up, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus. I mean, the one they did a Mississippi Burning about. What was his name? Medgar Evers.
Medgar Evers. Yeah.
Everybody been gunned down, and the pictures. I mean, Emmett Till. These pictures will live forever on how they have killed black men. That's why, Capree, I want you to help me with a story. I'm writing something right now about a young white boy who's sitting up and talking to 5 black dead men. They hung, but he knew them as he grew up, and he's reading them the Bible. It's deep.
Wow.
because he still hear their souls. He heard them. They talking to him, but he's reading them. Like,
wow.
It's deep. But anyway, we have a lot of fear in our hearts.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And not only do we have fear in our hearts, but we've accepted, for the most part, what society say we are.
All day.
You know, and it's unfortunate that we spend most of our life trying to prove instead of being.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, you know, we exhaust so much energy trying to prove we're a good guy.
Yeah.
Trying to prove, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to sit at home and not do nothing and not be nothing. You know what I'm saying? But when you get knocked down so many times and you get looked over and you get characterized and you get victimized, and you know it gets draining, you know what I'm saying, when you leave your house and you're really not sure if that's the last time you're going to walk out of the house and not come back. Because there are so many things and peoples and forces and systems against you, and it can be very draining, and a lot of people don't get.
As a black man,
you know what I'm saying, as a black man, it can be frustrating.
So every time I used to leave my house or apartment, wherever I was staying, I used to leave the TV on. You know what I mean? With the hopes of coming back and changing the channel.
Wow.
You feel me?
Wow.
And so if somebody was to walk into my home, they were like, well, he was here.
Got you.
So it's no, you know what I mean? By me having a particular fear,